So, how to start to get more out of life of what you actually want, okay? And I am someone who has done this, all right? Not to say that I've had absolutely everything in my life that I want ever, okay? However, significantly more than the majority of the population, all right? And the first question to ask yourself is, what do you actually want? Because if you don't know what you want, then you can't achieve it, right? It's simple. It is very similar to setting a course of a ship, right? And not knowing a destination and just sailing. Like, good luck getting to the place that you want to be if you haven't actually coordinated and calibrated the destination in which you want to go, right? And if you don't know where you're actually going to go, then you're never going to get there. And I would also pose the question to you that you probably don't know where you want to get, right? You may be thinking at the top of your head at the moment, yes, I want to get 10k per month, I want to get to this school, I want to have this happy relationship, I want to live in this place, etc. But the question that you need to ask yourself is, do you actually really want that, right? Do you really want that? And this is a concept called alien goals, which is found in the book Reality Transurfing, okay? And sometimes you see people with things that you think you want when realistically you just want to have things because they have it, and it's just a bit of an ego thing. And to kind of really, really figure out what exactly it is you want, it takes contemplation and it takes listening deeply to your heart of what would actually genuinely make you happy. What is your sort of peace in the day, and what actually makes you feel fulfilled, which I feel like is a emotion that people very much get lost, especially nowadays, is every single moment. It's like, when was the last time you sat there and you ate, okay, and you weren't watching something, you weren't watching a video, you weren't watching TV, you weren't on your phone, or the last time you had to go on a walk and you weren't listening to something and you were just actually absorbing your surroundings and thinking in your own brain. Maybe if you drive, do you always listen to music? Do you always listen to a podcast? Do you listen to a video? Or do you just drive and do you just think? So you actually have to listen to your brain because your brain is non-stop talking. And if all you're doing is just giving it other content coming in from other people, then it's effectively you're just listening to what they're having to say. And every single piece of advice people ever give you is never really tailored to your goal, especially if it's just advice such as a video, even this video, right? It's not tailored towards what you actually want out of life. And different things apply to different people who want different things, okay? So that's a contemplation there. Listen to what you actually want. Maybe, rather than making 10k per month, you just want enough to be able to pay the bills, have a happy life, maybe have a couple extra dollars, couple extra pounds or whatever to be able to buy the odd nice thing for your girlfriend. And that's completely fine. That's beautifully fine. You haven't got to want to be an absolute millionaire, billionaire, dominate the whole world. Maybe you just want to have a secure job that pays the bills and you can raise a family. That could be it, right? And you've really got to ask yourself, because it means that if you're if you're really trying to get something that you don't want, it's going to be so hard for you to achieve it. And once you do, then you're not going to feel fulfilled anyway, right? Because once you get that and you figure out, actually, did I really want that? And you've achieved that 10k per month, but you realise all you wanted was to be hugged by your parents, right? Then you've just wasted that time. Not to say you wasted it and they'll buy you other things, etc., and you can reinvest it, but you get the point, all right? So the first thing is know what you actually want, okay? Very, very important. Next, realise people are happy that don't have what you want. So exactly, so this note here is, people are happy even though they don't have what you want, right? I know everyone wants different things. However, you can still be happy without having what you want, because you can know for a fact, fully weigh, that you're going to get it eventually. Because let's say that you're beneath the age of 30, okay? You have so much time left in your life. You have so much time left. And here's a nice little example in which I bumped to in myself in my personal life. And it goes slightly off on a tangent, but I'll manage to loop it back round. And when I was going to the gym, I would go to the exact same gym every single time, pretty much every single day, right? Pretty much, literally every single day, at about the same sort of times. It would either be between about 1 o'clock-ish to sort of 2:30, or 8:30, or about 8 o'clock-ish, all right? I started seeing this one guy there, right? One guy kind of stuck out a little bit like a sore thumb, probably about 6'4", Pakistani Don, all right? Absolutely stuck out like a sore thumb. And I'd never seen him before, brand new to the gym it seems, because I pretty much saw everyone there and I've seen him before, and there was not really too many new faces. One time I start speaking to him, and it turns out that he's there because he currently has an exclusion zone, right, around the place in which he's from, because he can't go there because he's committed a crime and he's just got out of prison for 3 years. Okay? And he's going to the gym, he's chilling. He does literally, he'll smoke, walk into the gym, throw out a cigarette butt just before he gets there, all right? And he'll come into the gym, stinking of smoke. And what happens is one of his missus or girlfriends, whatever, no clue who it is, delivers him a literally fully cooked chicken like every 2 days. And he's got food, he's got a place to stay, he's relatively happy, and he's just come out of prison. And I don't know what age, he's between about 30 or 40-ish, but he's content, and he's happy, and he's chilling. And of course, it's not the exact position that he'd like to be in, or maybe not even you, right? Well, hopefully not. However, to put in perspective, you could go to prison for 10 years, come out, and still be able to conquer absolutely anything you want in life. It's insane. Like, you could have that much time taken away from you, and you can still be happy. You could still be happy, and you can still achieve what you want to get from life. Like, there's no form of massive time pressure. If you're literally saying, I need to get this by this certain time period, no, don't add on false urgency and false timelines to something that is just meant to happen to you in the time in which it's meant to happen. Because then you're going to put so much importance on that specific thing that then you're going to self-sabotage yourself. And you know this, when you really, really, really want something so deep down, you're craving it, right? You're craving that goal, and you typically never end up achieving it. And the perfect example to use, for example, if you're a male, is if you've had any form of experience with women to prior, it's very, very hard to get and to maintain the woman which you absolutely want and is the you obsess over, almost lustful, not out of any form of emotion. You just absolutely, really, really want it, and the whole life depends on it. However, you're probably going to start attracting women that are not the most attractive, that you don't really like, and they're obsessed about you, right? And the reason is why. And the reason being is you don't care. And if you don't care, think about it as like a tipping scale, right? So if you're putting all of your importance, it's super, super heavy, right? And then that means your goal's all the way up here. And that means that it's never going to come back and equal and meet you because it's not there. And if you want your goal to really come to fruition, right? And it's going to come down like this, you need to be able to make yourself super, super light, really detached, really don't care. And it'll just come to you, honestly. And that's something I've definitely learned in my life. Because with my marketing agency that I own, I was about a year ago, it was between December to sort of March, that I was working those 12-hour days. And I was taking sales calls until like 3 a.m. And I'll have a no-show call at 3 a.m. and just stay up and just wake up so late because I need to get enough sleep. And it was absolute hell. And I was working every single day, completely neglecting my health, neglecting my relationships, neglecting my friendships, neglecting absolutely everything, neglecting my supplementation. It was winter in the UK, no vitamin D, no sun. I'd wake up at like 12:01, and then it would get dark at about 3:30. No sunlight. Everything that you would ever see in the self-improvement space as positive, I was not doing, even though I had done it before, because I was prioritizing work. And in that time, I made really very, very little progress compared to after that, realizing I was hitting a sort of breaking point. I managed to sort of balance out the work in which I was doing. I started to see my friends much, much more often. I started to do habits which I had stopped doing prior. And I just attracted it to me. Like, I literally out drinking with my friends, etc. Hadn't drunk in absolutely ages. Stayed up until about 3. And then I woke up at 3 p.m. the next day. And then I had a sales call at 4. I had that call, closed the client. First client I closed in months. And it's something magical that happens that when you really, really detach from that outcome, right, you actually start to get more of it, all right? And there's so many different other topics and premises that you can never go into, and you probably resonate with that yourself. But if you really, really obsess over something, good luck getting it, because likelihood it's not going to happen. And those are sort of 2 key points on exactly how you can start to get more out of what you want to your life. And to a little summarize, figure out what you actually deep down truly want, okay? And the way that you do that is by listening to yourself and doing the things and being in a place that gives you inspiration. If you're always in the same place of work, you're doing the same thing every single day, go to a place that is pretty. For me, for example, it's nature. I like to go on a walk in the nature, fields, forest, etc., be in a beautiful aged city or something like that, like a real nice rural town. That for me is where I kind of find inspiration, and I'll be able to draw ideas. And it's almost like I've kind of got a different flow of energy behind me. And that is the best place to be able to make good decisions, and you have ideas just flow into your mind and flow in. It's very similar to if you were to really, really try and solve that maths problem in school. Let's say that it was a certain question, you're doing revision, whatever, you just cannot crack the answer whatsoever. You go for a nap, you go out, you eat, come back to the question, try it a different way, bosh, and it's done. It's very, very similar to that. Be in a place that gives you inspiration, listen to your own thoughts, make space for you to be able to think, eliminate just people giving you advice and Chinese whispers and everything like that, because the only reason that the majority of videos in which you watch and everything like this giving you exact advice like work yourself to death and all that, it's just Chinese whispers. It's just someone's told them that, and before the person's told the person that told them that, etc. And now they're telling you, and it's like, well, that advice is not general. It's not general. It's very, very specific. And I don't even think it's advice. I think it's honestly treason to your goal, to be honest, to be able to work much, much harder and then you'll be able to get what you want. No, I honestly think it's work less and work from a place of more inspiration. The next thing is realize that people are still happy, even though they don't have what they want, and you should be as well, because that is the way you're going to get there. And if you just focus on the process of realizing, look, do you know what, I'm going to get it one day, doesn't matter when, but do you know what, I'm chilling for now, I have someone that loves me, I speak to my friends or whatever, I have a roof underneath my head, I can feed myself, I have food, I have water. Like, that's realistically all you need. If you have water, if you have food, that's fine. And think about tens and tens of thousands of years ago. Like, you don't need all of these crazy things. Like, your ancestors literally had, like, I don't know, give each other a really cool rock for their birthday and be absolutely ecstatic and have less depression and anxiety when they're getting chased by saber-toothed tigers than you are now, living in a warm place with heating, with a roof underneath your head, with potentially parents that love you. I mean, hopefully. Hopefully someone that has some form of interest in your well-being. And yeah, it's blowing out in proportion. So detach from what you actually want after you figured out what you want, and it will come to you.